So everybody, this is Lakshmi. She was in my last class, and she was my star. She's the one on my homepage of the website. You know, you inspired me with the thing about the pain in your arm being gone after 3 weeks on the Kitchari.
Yeah.
It just really amazed me. I played beach volleyball. I have had a lot of injuries, and I thought, gosh, if it could do that for her, I'm going to really stick with this even more as far as the gluten-free part went. And I'm able to go deeper in my yoga stretches because of that. But you inspired me. You really inspired me. So, would you like to share with the class what you got out of it?
Well, it was really life-changing. I'm sure you met my co-workers, you know, Debbie and Carrie, who have come the last few weeks. So we are still sticking to it. We now it's maybe into the 3rd month now, and it's not tiring. I'm maybe not so strict with it in that, you know, I might eat it like for breakfast and lunch, and for dinner, you know, I'll cook something and have, or go out and, you know, but still within the limits of what, you know, what Shasta taught us. So, but definitely it's been like life-changing in terms of just everything. Just the eating habits and, you know, getting rid of all the processed foods and that sort of a thing. And just sticking to this guideline really helped me, and, you know, I can also speak for Debbie and Carrie and it also helps because we all work together, and batch after batch, you know, every week we're making new batches, and we're so excited about it. It's like, oh, this week we put this in this, you know, these kind of vegetables. Pretty much we stuck to Shasta's recipes, and just add all the seasonal vegetables, and, you know, it's still yummy. And that's the surprising part. We have not gotten tired of it, yeah. And definitely energy-wise, it's amazing. I started this in January, and the previous year has been a very tough year in terms of you know, health issues and stuff like that. And it was always a struggle in terms of what can I, you know, any little change it'll be like 1 step forward but 2 steps backward. But this is the first time since doing this program, you know, I have really stuck to it. And you know, it really, for one, it really feels like a lifelong change. And another, you know, and I was also struggling with you know, a lot of weight gain in the last 15 years, you know, kind of gained about 40 pounds, and it's been so hard to get rid of it. And I, you know, I have polio, so my mobility is limited, so I can't do much. But being on the, you know, doing the Kitchari, I mean, I do some yoga and swimming, but doing the Kitchari, you know, I've lost about 12 pounds now, and feel much lighter, definitely very energetic. And you know, the nice thing about it is you can tell the difference when you sway away from it. Like, I had gone on vacation for a week, you know, didn't have any Kitchari, and when I came back, first of all, and the first thing, you know, tired or not, I mean, I was just drawn to make a batch of Kitchari. And that I clearly remember that Monday I was so congested, and it just felt miserable, and I was like, I usually don't get this sick, and but I think the fact that, you know, the week I swayed away, and, you know, I mean, even though I was still very cognizant of what I was eating, but still it was you just don't realize how much pollutants you put in your body.
Yeah.
And but they came back and did, you know, within a day, the next day, it almost seemed like it was miraculous, because I really cleared up, and I thought I wouldn't come to work. I'm a poor girl, so I was pretty shocked that, you know, I came back the next day and I was very, very cleared up. And that's how I do the Kitchari right now also, is that I fall back on it, in that you know, when you know, gone over the limit or something, you can always fall back on the Kitchari kind of a thing. So it's I mean, I can't thank Shasta enough, or, you know, it's just been so invaluable. And as Shasta mentioned, my arm pain for about 3 months, you know, like something like September, I think I hurt my arm, and I don't know exactly how, but it became really stiff, and it was so hard to even raise my arm, and it was that was really scary for me because I just didn't want to do. I mean, I don't know what was happening, so it was. And I because of that I stopped my exercising and everything, and then finally after a couple months I went to the doctor, and he had suggested that I do an MRI and we'll see what's happening, but there's no it seemed really, I mean, it was not hopeful basically. I was kind of really in a depression mode because it hurt so much I couldn't even lift it. Then I started doing this Kitchari program, and I asked my doctor if I could just wait for a few weeks and not pursue the MRI, and I don't know, without any exaggeration, my arm felt so unbelievable, and now it's gone. I mean, one of the pain that I thought was like essentially gone, and that in itself is like, for me it's it's the program is like and I think it'll be something I'll stick with for my lifetime. It's really because it's initially we're so so strict on that on the diet, and and learning new principles every week. I think what happens is that it really kind of changes your focus. It becomes it's more like a lifestyle. It's not a diet; it's a lifestyle. Yeah, and believe it or not, my son. I mean, he's not a picky eater, but even he likes my Kitchari. But again, it's nothing special. I mean, meaning I don't make anything. I don't put anything there to make it special for him. But the fact is just you got your basic. That's pretty much as done with and he eats it, and people have noticed. People see the changes, and that's even more encouraging. Also that people see. But more so, it's also it's not only it's the diet changes, but it's all connected. It's the mind, body and spirit. I mean, every part of it is like, I feel like it's like getting alive, and it's coming in play. So it's.
How have you noticed it helping your spirit?
I'm more drawn towards more drawn to go in deep
Go
within,
more,
inside more,
Feel more comfortable inside
exactly
of yourself.
Exactly.
And being quiet inside.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm not so critical about myself, I probably have more. I mean, ideally, I have more weight to lose, but I'm not critical about it, and it's not something that I live by anymore. That I have to be on the scale, that kind of thing. I don't live my life like that. I think that itself. I mean, that is another huge. Mentally, it's helped a lot because, I'm more accepting of myself. And then I trust the process, the trust that everything will come into place, and and my weight gain or my weight loss, it'll happen, and I'm not pushing it, and that's why I'm not probably sustaining it also. Because I'm not pushing it.
You just you have an inner trust.
Yes.
You trust nature. You trust your body.
Absolutely,
again.
yeah, and again, that's huge. I've been so critical all my life, and. Have I been perfect? No, but now I can, I can say, well, that's what it is. That's where I am today,
This is I am taking good care of myself.
Exactly.
And this is where my body is.
Exactly.
Then that's okay.
That's okay.
I trust the process.
Absolutely.
Of re-establishing my healthy roots.
Yeah.
And allowing them time to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took me, 40 years to where I am. I'm not going to be able to change it overnight.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Shasta has shown us a way to do that, and that it's I don't know. I don't even have the right words to express it because I've tried so long. I've tried all this like healthy diet, so to speak, like cold salads and smoothies but for what? It didn't give me the results that I was, looking for. And it seems so hard work. And that's another thing. The Kitchari doesn't seem like hard work at all. It just seems, and it helps, I guess, having the, being from the Indian, culture, yeah.
Your mom made this for you, right?
Yes, and
When she was a child.
Yeah.
And she didn't really put much creams in it.
Exactly.
And then she found, wow, this stuff is great.
Yeah, because every time, we were sick, that's what they would make for us, Kitchari, because Kitchari really helped. It's so healing, self-healing properties, and it's simple. Yeah.
Well, and how have you found this inner self-confidence and inner peace with yourself affects your life, in your work, in your relationships, in your self-expression, your creativity? Can you share anything about that?
I think it's, I don't worry, so when I don't worry, that means I'm more open, and I don't draw focus on myself, it's that self-consciousness, it's not there. When it's not there, you can be more open, I think. I mean, I am more open with people because I'm not thinking about myself, and it is, I mean, like people that I would, my perception, that, oh, maybe they're not the greatest, or I didn't have the greatest relationship, but things I find were naturally healing in itself, that I would, have like better conversations, or my perspective, I think my perspective changed, and all that is again because, it's going deep in, and I really believe it, all the mind, body, and spirit, it's so interconnected. So once you start working on one, it all comes together. So
you feel like you're more in tune with your spirit, less self-conscious,
yeah,
and able to be more present.
More, exactly. That's the key word. More present
with your relationships.
Exactly. And be more honest with everything. Not so.
Is there any specific example how that's made a difference? We had one student, Monica, who is the counselor for a school, a high school, and she stuck up for a kid who was bullied. And actually, it was on the news, it was in the paper, and she had found the inner confidence to stick up for them, completely found them a lawyer to take care of them for free, and she was a total hero for this kid in her school. And it really was like after she was less self-conscious, had more energy, and how about you? Have you noticed anything like that in your life, like at work or with a relationship?
There might have been a time that, at work, it was, my boss had a confrontation, in a way with me, and then I really let that affect me, but then when I really, saw deep into the, into the whole issue between, I don't know, it just, I was just in my mind, I was like, oh, I was so angry, and I felt it was so unfair. But then at the same time, I think I just, then I went back there, and then, I don't know, I just felt calm, and that, I'll continue doing what I do, and just keep going with it. I don't know, it may not be a very significant example.
You were able to stay calm.
Yeah, exactly.
And just keep doing your work, even though someone got really upset with you.
Yeah.
It could have been very upsetting for you.
Exactly. You know what? Which kind of brings me in what I was trying to say is, like, I think I forgive easily, so I don't keep that in my mind.
You're able to forgive more.
Exactly, and very easily in that. I don't think I ever kept major grudges against people, but I think when you're like calm and you're focused, I think it becomes less of an issue, and then forgiveness does come, because forgiveness is ultimately everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of your relationships, forgiveness is huge. So I guess in that case, in that regards, I feel like, I mean, that's one example, but I don't know. I don't know if I have.
That's great.
Yeah.
And why I wanted Lakshmi so badly to come share is because of Lakshmi's, since she was a child, the disability, polio, and having to eat the American diet and try to still stay in shape. I mean, it's got to be just, the odds are so much against her. And she just jumped into this and fully 3 times a day for the 6 to 8 weeks, and it's continuing. And it's like she doesn't hold a grudge about what happened to her. She just looks for how to still live and enjoy life, and she doesn't even hold have a chip on her shoulder when people are picking on her. She just lets it go and looks for peace and what's good inside her. And I just know, that just amazes me. I love that about you.
Thank you.
Just that you don't hold this anger about things having been unfair that I can ever sense from you. I just see you just moving forward and having, lighting up the room when you come into the room.
Oh, thank you. I
You
don't
don't
know.
even notice, So,
Yeah, and I really do in so many respects. I have to thank you, because if it wasn't for you and your willingness to share, it
Thanks.
really, yeah.
I really appreciate it, and it isn't easy. This week was the toughest, because this class is the toughest for me. It's the Ayurvedic nutrition, the Chinese medicine nutrition, and the Western nutrition all into one. So it had to read about 20 books for this particular class. But we're gonna, we got it down to a few pages of basic things. But I just saw so many people in the clinic get these kinds of benefit, and I thought, I really, really don't know why this Kitchari isn't out there in America the way that it should be. The Indians know about it, and I'm hoping to be able with Christine to make this book, and your story will be in there.
Oh, thank you.
And thanks for encouraging me, because it's this is a big deal. It takes a lot of energy to get this together every Friday night.
And it's definitely, it's contagious, us doing it now, my
Are
boss.
people doing it
yeah,
around you?
yeah,
Your
he-
boss?
Yeah, and his wife apparently,
Wow.
yeah.
Have they lost weight now too?
I think so. He's not too overweight to begin with. I think it's more
Just
the
for health and
the
vitality.
health,
Yeah.
exactly.
I know, and that's the thing, is all my patients who would get results would hand it to everybody in their office and send it to their relatives across the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. My mom, sorry.
Go ahead.
My mom is like one of my biggest critiques, to hear when I went on vacation, I went with my mom, and to hear her say, "Wow, you look good." It coming from a mom, it's a big deal, because
She could see it.
yeah, and
Your skin looks amazing. Absolutely incredible.
I've got
And the whites of your eyes.
compliments about the skin
Do you
has
guys
cleared.
see her skin glowing?
When I first saw her, there's a big difference
Amazing.
between now and then.
It's totally different.
Yeah, I forgot about I've gotten a lot of compliments, but
Her
my
skin looks so beautiful.
it's really cleared up. It was
Radiating.
very tired looking.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Are you doing meditation and stuff too?
I do.
Good.
I do.
Good.
And breathing.
Good.
Yes, have you guys done the breathing?
They did last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for Lakshmi?
I have questions. It looks like originally from India,
Yes.
so it means like this recipe comes from India originally, as I understand. So is it very popular for the Indian people from India, these spices, or
Oh, yeah.
just they forgot about that, or are they used to it in the regular life?
Oh, absolutely. The Kitchari itself is, every family, they do it very differently. I think the only major change that I see is that, Shasta has doubled up the moon beans to the rice content.
They do 2 rice to 1 bean over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I switched it because in America, I think we've all had too many refined carbohydrates, and I think that I saw some people not react as well with too much rice in the Kitchari, so I switched it.
It means that all Indian people supposed to be very healthy if they use this recipe pretty regularly.
But,
should
which
be.
is, yeah.
But they have a lot of other food too.
Right.
A lot of fried food.
Fried fruit.
And a lot of refined carbohydrates, and they eat a lot of white rice. White rice is not healthy in general.
And I'm sure they eat sugar.
And they eat a lot
Lot
of
of
sugar.
sugar.
Their milk, they put sweeteners in their milk. They don't have, if you go to an Indian restaurant, just see how sweet it is in there.
It's-
And a lot of refined white rice noodles and
And a lot of dairy, there's a lot of dairy.
Yeah, we use a
And
lot
like
of.
the curries and stuff.
Yeah,
Tons.
I think that's all, really they've modernized it and
Yeah.
put like tons of cream and butter and,
Mm-hmm.
although, you're right, I mean, now with all the changes and, to appeal the food to everybody, you gotta like, use all this, dairy.
Tastes good.
Tastes
Make it
good,
taste
yeah.
really good, just like in America.
Well, like I went to the Korean grocery store and the Japanese grocery store, and I was looking for things for Elijah, that Elijah might like, different kinds of noodles and stuff. And I was astonished because, my husband's Chinese and he's like, oh no, there's no sugar, in Chinese cooking. And everything in both these stores was chock full of sugar, and I went home and I said, what's up with this? And he said, it's the change that,
It's a change across
from
everywhere.
old times,
Yeah.
they didn't have sugar in China, so, which is why they don't have, they don't really have desserts. If you go to a Chinese restaurant,
Yeah,
there's not really any
that's
dessert.
true.
Right.
But now they put sugar in all their food, apparently, so.
Sugar sells.
All right, does anybody else have any other questions for Lakshmi?
Yeah, I just have to finally say that, all the lessons that Shasta teaches, really, at the end of it all, it kind of blends in and touch every part of, I think, every part of life, and the program is well integrated, I think.
Thank you so much. Well, this is why I'm doing this, and I'm just hoping that we come up with a book that people will use, and they'll do it wherever they are, and bring that amazing medicinal soup to America.
I know, that's what I'm really excited about, that you are bringing that,
Yeah, I don't ask me how I got into this, except for my yoga teacher, Baba Hari Das, but yeah, it saved my life, so that's why I'm sharing it.
and you saved ours.
All right, my sweetheart, so great to see you.